G'day and welcome back for more Survival Impossible. Capac's very kindly staring at my to-do list, which I've made some decent progress on, I feel. I have updated it a little bit from where it was before. Oh no, that's not what I wanted to do. Where is it? Yeah, I have updated it a little bit more from what I had it at last, but I've retrieved a captured cargo ship. I've built some sandbags. I've got a bit of a food stockpile. Haven't done that bit. Haven't refueled the remora yet. Production building is pretty much complete. Weirdly capitalized words. Yep. Food truck looked like food truck. Arboretum. Ooh, holographic tree. I'm gonna have to work on that one, I think, out of the save, because the holographic tree is going to be quite the complex build. Today, what I'd like to get done is the Arboretum. I want to get it finished. Like, internals, externals, I want it finished. And I also want to get the grinder collector building done too. The reason I'd really like to get those done today is that they've been sitting a bit unfinished for some time, and it felt so good finishing off the production building that I'd like to kind of keep that feeling going. And I'd also like to have more than 2 complete buildings to show off when I do a bit of a special episode for 1 year in Survival Impossible. So I was thinking probably that special episode where I'll do a little bit of a montage of all of my time lapses will be episode 52, because that should be 52 weeks in. Unless it works out that it's more accurate on 53. It'll be 52 or 53, whichever one of those falls closer to a year after the first episode was published. Because I kind of like the idea of it doing on a yearly sort of thing like that. Especially with a scenario like this where everything has taken me so much longer. To show that all compressed down, I think will be really cool. So I'm very much looking forward to that. But for tonight, let's go grab Manny, and I'm going to fill up all of my cargo containers with iron so I can start clearing up some of those drop pods. And have plenty of resources available because I'm going to need a lot of iron to finish off these 2 buildings. No, I have to walk around the side. Oh, so handy having this camera on the back here. Since the last episode, I've been having a bit of a think about what I'm going to do with the panini and what I'd like to do with it. I would quite like to try and make it into an atmospheric hauler. The reason for that is I've come up with what I think could be an entertaining idea for a refueling style vehicle to take a large grid hydrogen tank up to the launch air base. I shouldn't need to take multiple tanks just yet. That may be something I need to do in the future, but just for now I shouldn't need to. But I kind of want to take a large grid tank up there with a small grid vehicle. And designing that, I've got a design in mind that's going to be very different to stuff I've done in the past. And so I'm kind of excited about that. But for the panini, what I'm thinking I'll do is turn it into an atmospheric hauler so that I could set up remote mining facilities with it, because it'll carry enough stuff to be able to set up that facility. As well as potentially be my new ore scout. Since I kind of took away Splitsie's detector and put it on there. I know I could build another one, but I think the Splitsie might end up being less for searching and more for, well, kind of being my little personal flying lifter drone thing. But yeah, so the panini would be flying back and forth from, say, an ice lake or a mining deposit, that sort of thing. Oh, that is bouncing a lot. Let's drop that down a bit. And I'll grind off the battery to take a bit of the weight off the very end. But to build up the panini, I want to do things in a different way. I probably have the resources to build a full complement of atmospheric thrusters. But to just straight up build them, it's never as fun. So what I'm going to try and do, just for the fun of it, not for any other reason, not for any practical in-game reason, but just for my own enjoyment, I'm going to try and capture all of the working thrusters. So I've built one thruster from scratch on it, and I'm hoping to keep it that way. No more from scratch thrusters on there. The way I'm hoping to do that is using drones to take down some more cargo ships so that I can try and bring back the bits of them that I want. That's going to need to wait a little bit because Lucas has been very, very, very helpful and has been trying to find the problem with the assertive cargo ships mod, but he hasn't managed to figure it out just yet. So I haven't fixed the drones. So I need to wait until the ships can fight back properly before I feel like I'm okay to take them on. So I feel like it's a bit cheap if they can't fight back to their full extent. And I think once I get that working, the assertive mod should be almost ready for release and no longer in test, which means I can replace the other two mods that are out there, which would be nice. Oh man, I just brought back one full of gravel. No. Oh, that's annoying. I brought back a test pod. Oh, I'll need some of that gravel for food, so whatever. Oh dear. I did not realize I'd just gotten those two stuck together. Let's unstick you two. There we go. Something that was suggested last time I was using Manny was to add a control to my hotbar to adjust the height of the front wheels. Honestly, at the time, I didn't think it was going to be enough to get the angle I needed to be able to pick these things up from the side, but it turns out it is. I can get a good lock on the side even with these things slightly on an angle, so that's kind of cool. Much easier than me having to add a block every time I go and collect one of these things, or even collecting it on the connector end and having to grind bits off out here. This is much, much better. Except for when you stick two of them together, and then they're too heavy to lift. Like this one here is a too steep an angle for me to grab, but there we go. And locked. Easy as that. Manny becomes even more awesome. Or I discover Manny's awesomeness to a greater extent. I discover the full extent of Manny's awesomeness? That's probably the way I wanted to phrase that. Looking up this row of drop pods that I still am yet to collect. Maybe I overestimated how much I was going to need. At least at this point. I might have launched a few too many, because there's still the other ones on the other side of the base as well. Definitely won't be needing to mine iron on planet. Wonder how weird it'd look to put two spotlights on top of the forks. Or maybe off to the side of the forks on each side. They'd be super handy for when I'm carrying a load, because I'd still be able to see. I wonder how weird they'd look. And whether they'd always bug me because they kind of stick out like sore thumbs. Don't know about that one. Function over aesthetics? What is this madness? Okay, that might be tight enough. I might not put any more in there. One explosion is enough. Oh wait, control, close the doors. I'm going to pressurize this space because there is enough in here for me to spend a fair bit of time grinding. Eesh. At least when I blow stuff up, it's usually just like a parachute or something like that. Nothing too important. Don't think I've blown up a cargo container yet. I was about to make a comment about how I've managed to get through a whole night without damaging or blowing anything up, and then I remembered that I've been blowing up drop pods. Or at least bits of them. So it's not strictly true. I've not quite driven through this night without blowing something up. My record remains intact. Not a record I want to keep, though. Dang it. These cameras. The number of them that I've tripped over recently while grinding these things down. It's ridiculous. They're also really hard to nail down and grind without grinding too much of the floor. And something I should have done a long time ago, I'm going to do now, just so that I can get a clearer idea of how much I have in the way of resources. A long time ago, I should have put something on an LCD inside this production facility that says how much I have of the basic materials. And conveniently, I built these extra programmable blocks around here, and I think their LCDs will be just about perfect for this. And they can run the script. I think I'm going to use automatic LCDs for this. So MMaster's Automatic LCDs 2 is the one that I'm talking about. MMaster's written a very detailed guide on the workshop for how to use this script, how to set everything up, what the commands do, etc, etc. So I'm not going to go through that here, but definitely recommend looking at his Steam guide once you grab his script off the workshop if you're wanting to put information about what's on your base onto LCDs in a way that's reasonably neat and quite efficient. A fairly simple setup is just to go into custom data and type, oh, that's not how you spell inventory, inventory. Okay. After putting that name in your LCD, which in this case is the name of the actual programmable block. And you can see that it's just going to go through and summarize what we've got, which is 628,000 kilograms of iron ore. That's heaps. There we go, I'm happy with that. All I had to do with this was in the custom data type inventory XS, which gets rid of all of the extraneous information that I didn't want, and I've shrunk the font size so that I can fit a bit more information on each page. I'm happy enough with this for now. I just want to adjust the color of the background. Can't remember what the colors were I used to get the right blue, but that's close enough. Yeah, it'll do. Alright, let's go inspect the Arboretum and see what I need to get done to make this thing look and feel complete. I've got all of the glass in. I'll need to get these vents in, although there were some suggestions that I should perhaps move them to a different location so I don't block the sun, well, the setting sun from coming through the glass here. And that seems reasonable. What I might do at the very least is drop them down a block and bring them right down to ground height, because there's not going to be a whole lot of sun that's blocked from that angle. But I could perhaps find another spot for them as I go around. Then this is going to be where I think I'm going to put the entryway. Walk in on this level, and then you can walk out through the doors into the Arboretum itself, down the stairs, and into the food production area, which I've dug out and set up for being closed off. I'll have glass windows, the regular original vanilla windows, in a, I'm thinking a diagonal and then flat. And then I'll bring the next level out and up and do the same on it as well. So we'll have a nice little angled inset glass, but also give us plenty of room to build in here because we'll be able to walk around this space. That should work. And then really, it's just figuring out how I can make this area here look a bit like a barbecue area or something like that. I'm thinking I'll use some of the wooden texture on the floor here, just to bring it into a bit more of a natural feel. And that'll be lighting. And getting rid of this scaffolding, hopefully without getting rid of the tree. Which could be a bit of a difficult challenge. An interesting comment on the last episode was that I should bring the red battery, that little isolated, lonely red battery in here, but I don't think I can get it in here without damaging it. So I'll have to have some other... I'll have to come up with something else to use that for. Eventually. Or at least to show it off, because I think it's just going to sit there forever at this point. A commemoration of the time when batteries were important, even small ones. I'll leave this little pathway here until the very end because it's kind of convenient, but I do plan on blocking off that wall because it's just a bit much. Now, all I'm going to do with these vents is I'm just going to move them down a block. I don't like any of the other locations I could put them. I really don't want to ruin the aesthetics of this front large bit of the glass dome, and I think they're more hidden up there. And with the production area, I think I'm going to be running a bit tight on space there anyway. And the only real spots I could put the vents would be at the front here, again, ruining the aesthetics of this side of the building. Or around the side here, and I think I'm going to need the full height rather than having some vents taking up some of this space, so I'll just leave them as I had them planned. Well, I'll drop them down a block, I mean. The Arboretum's just this awkward kind of distance away from the rest of the base. It's close enough that I feel like walking isn't the world's biggest hassle, but it's far enough away that I might get some benefit out of grabbing a vehicle and filling it up, but I'm not convinced that I will. Let's go Frozen on the outside of the vent and Rusty on the inside. because of that distance, I just always end up seeming like I'm going to run back and forth, even though it is fairly slow to do so. Okay, production-wise, let's grab our daily needs blocks. I'd like to have a few of these soil tray crop growers, as well as maybe an enclosed hydroponics. Maybe an open food resequencer and a water recycler. Kind of all of it, I think. And then I might put some lab equipment in here just to make it look a bit more interesting from that point of view. One of the nice things about these blocks, these daily needs blocks, is that they have conveyors on all sides, not just the ones that look like they have them. I think that's true with the big ones as well. It's definitely true with the small ones, but I think it's true with these large ones as well. So all of the sides of this can be connected to, which does make it a bit easier to arrange things in your base the way that you might want to. Put a couple of these soil tray crop growers right near the windows, so they're the ones that look like they're actually getting some sunlight. Not sure whether they need it or not. If they do, I could be in trouble because I'm not sure that I'll get light through the glass, since with oxygen farms, you don't get light through glass. It may be the same here, I'm not sure. Oh! There is... Oh. I was just thinking, should I leave a spot available for when I can eventually put a survival kit in? Or should I plan to build like a separate hospital building at that point? Yeah, maybe I'll go that way. Let's not leave extra space in for now. So I've had my hydroponics there. Then I can have a little pipe coming off the side, going under the floor to provide connection to there. I could then have this as a vent, couldn't I? Stick a vent in there. Or do I try and get a vent? Oh, dang it. A vent out here somewhere. Yeah, that could work. Replace this with a vent. So a vent like this can allow me to get air in over here. I could then either put just a straight up vent on the other side, or what I think would be potentially a bit better would be to hook this up conveyor to allow me to get an air vent that goes upstairs. And I'm thinking somewhere hidden in the corner of the building is probably a good spot to put some conveyors and vents so that I can pressurize the room above. It might actually make some sense to do something that I don't normally like to do, which is stick these conveyors on the outside. The reason this might make some sense is if I say put a conveyor here and then a cargo container right here, I will have really easy access to any of the food that this has produced. So I won't have to go inside, go all the way downstairs or anything. If I need food, I can just quickly come, grab it, run away. And that's going to be much, much better, I think. Even though it is going to put a bit of a pipe on the outside, and I could kind of, I guess, put pipe on top of that. Don't know why I put 2 cargo containers there. Alright, because airlock. I'm going to need this to be a full block so that it can be airtight on the side. What I need to do is figure out where the bottom of that conveyor junction that I just put in comes to so I can drill out to it. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm carrying my drill right now. Aha, there's our conveyor junction. Perfect. So I can put another junction in here. Then what I can do is crank that out. Another junction. And yeah. Yeah, I probably should have figured out the air venting setup before I started going on placing down the blocks for all of the daily needs production. Because obviously being able to get air in here is probably kind of important. So what I'm thinking now what I'll do is I'll put a conveyor pipe from this oxygen pressure, from this vent down to this conveyor junction here. I'll put another conveyor junction on the wall here and another one down here. Up the top here I'll put the vent. Down the bottom is where I'll start connecting up the daily needs blocks. So what I'll do is maybe put 2 more cargo containers in here, move the water recycler back a block, move this, what was it? Food processor back a block, and then I'll have a bit more room to play around with lab equipment and other things in here to make it look a bit more like a bit of a combination experimental space slash kitchen. Oh, did I get all the iron out of this drop pod? I did not. May as well take that back with me too. It's slightly tempting to put an assembler down there, but I don't really want to consume any more of the power on that thing that I've already done. The reason to do the pipe from this vent over to here, rather than anything else, is that I want to be able to have the upstairs room pressurized without having an externally visible vent on it. So it'd be nice to connect the systems up anyway for the food, but for the oxygen side of things, it's kind of important too. Plus, you know, pipes make things look more interesting in rooms like this, I think. Oh, rats, now that I've got that external vent, if I put a couple of tanks in here, I could probably have put some vents right on the wall here for pressurizing this area, but I think it's still nice having those pairs up there, because pressurizing this space, if I ever accidentally vent it, will take some time. Oh, I keep falling in that hole. It will take some time. Food resequencer. And water recyclers should probably go next to each other rather than how I had them arranged before. And then I could put cargo container under here. Or even just cargo container there. Yeah. And then my big open hydroponics. Now, as I understand it, I think the open hydroponics just needs to have a pressurized space as opposed to needing anything fancy. And I should have built the floor before I put these blocks down. Why do I keep doing this? I know part of the reason is that I wasn't sure whether I'd need to put more conveyors in the floor like I'm going to have to do over here. Still, should have known better. Oh, I just had a really cool thought. So this setup is going to pretty much obsolete the food truck unless I spend a bit of time at some point, not sure when, but at some point, making the food truck look like a food truck as I'd planned. And then the food truck can drive away and park near one of the mining sites. And then it's being a real food truck, because it's mobile and not at home base. Just as a, you know, a little safety net, a bit of a food safety net. That could work really quite nicely rather than having it here. Or I can just, you know, move it wherever I like. So right now this is using 1 kilowatt. And this is using also 1 kilowatt. Okay, that's alright. I can cope with that. You know what? I might build an enclosed hydroponics and an open. The reason being, I have no idea how these blocks work. So it's probably better I learn down here where I'm safe rather than learning once I've already taken a large ship up to space and trying to survive on it. It would make more sense. Learn where I am relatively safe. Relatively, because I really want to make it unsafe here. So I really need to fix my drones. I had expected that long before I reached this point, there would be a base out there. Unfortunately, through, I guess, poor planning, I've ended up in a valley where there's very few places that an enemy base could spawn, so I haven't had that constant attack or that intermittent attack from a base for me to have to go out there and search it out. But I expect that will not be the case once I get off and go and hunt for some nice big ice lake to mine for hydrogen. So once that's something I'm dealing with, it should be a bit more challenging from that point of view, because I should have to face a few bases and things like that. Say goodbye to access to my batteries. Speaking of the batteries, how are they going? Oops. There are 2 incomplete ones. That would bug some people. Myself might be included in that. Can't get down there without grinding away too much. Perhaps I should. Dang it. Gonna have to. It's gonna drive me insane. There we go. That's that problem fixed. Just Get rid of them. Don't really need them. Anyway. No incomplete batteries on the control panel now. Those of you who've watched me play Space Engineers for a while would know that there are some of those little obsessive compulsive traits that I show from time to time where I really want to get something just right. And then other times, I deliberately go against that part of myself just for the fun of it, just to do something different. And you could pretty much toss a coin to figure out which one of those is going to be what I do at any point in time. I don't know beforehand. I just kind of go with what feels right at the time. There we go, getting the floor. And I'll seal off this room. This is feeling good. I'm really happy with this making things a bit more complete thing. I will fix up the paintwork, don't worry. It felt really good towards the end of Survival Maybe when I was getting things done. And this is not the end. This is not the end of Survival Impossible. This is just me finishing these buildings. But it felt really good because it was towards the end that I actually managed to finish a bunch of different constructions. And I'm hoping to I'm hoping to kind of get that feeling again here. That feeling that a few things are actually done. Alright. Apart from this block in the wall, this should be airtight. Guess it's time to test then. No more random hole in the wall, and... right. Should have left the random hole in the wall for a moment longer. I have not got the outdoor vent set up the correct way. I have no idea which vent it is. Depressurize on. Let's call this Arboretum Production External Air Vent. And then... yeah. Oh wait, did I not... oh, I didn't do the vent on the inside. Come on, Splitsie. Okay. Internal vent. External vent is depressurizing. They are hooked up to one another. When I close these doors, hopefully that light on that vent is going to turn green and this is going to start pressurizing. Yes! It worked! Phew! I was really worried about some of these bits of glass that they weren't going to be technically airtight. But they are, and all is good. I mean, obviously, I'm going to turn... oh, I had access to these vents from the inside. I'm going to turn these vents off because they chew through a lot of power. And once I've got more of this set up, I'm going to put a sensor up on the wall somewhere around here so that this room only gets pressurized when I come inside it, same as the rest of the main base. But that is some good progress. Now, I think I might work on designing this living area next. But I'm going to need to throw in some temporary lights because it is getting dark. And I do not have any construction components on me. I might even build up the exterior walls and then do the interior separate. I was going to try and do the interior first before I put the walls in. Hope that it worked out. Largely so that it would work for the time lapse, because then you see it all kind of build from the inside. But I think what I'll do is I'll build the outside, then I'll set up a new camera for the internals rather than trying to do it all with one. Plus then I might very well be able to work in a pressurized space.
Energy low.
Line things up properly. So for the airlock, I've got a bit of a window in here that can see outside. We've got our first door, got cargo access. I've created hopefully enough block spaces. If I put an offset door there, I can then maybe put, say, where are they? An armory, though probably the armory lockers in here. And then I've got a nice decent sized airlock where I should be able to fit a sensor, a vent coming off this upper cargo container. I think is probably the way it's going to go. Although, actually... no, that'll leave a hole through to the other side. I don't really want to do that. Yeah, it'll be a vent coming off this upper cargo container. Even though you'll be able to see it maybe a bit through that window, it shouldn't be too bad. That could work quite well, I think. It's always that trouble with airlocks, trying to have enough room to have the decorative bits, but also to have a sensor, a light, a vent, they all take up a full cube, and it ends up making them quite tricky to make them feel small rather than just ridiculously large. And then I'll put a little sloped roof on top that'll hopefully be able to be hidden by the height that I'm going to go to for the top roof. There'll be all flat windows down this side. I did do this inset step on the lower level, but that was more because it's armor and I didn't want it to be all flat armor. For this bit, I am going to have flat glass, just so that I've got extra room on the inside to play with in terms of my decorative stuff and actually fitting all the blocks that I want to fit in here. It's going to be pretty cramped, I think. Don't like that, because I can half see the conveyor, which is weird. Might put a 2x1 base slope in here. Yeah. And the roof can be half slabs. I am so very close to the Arboretum being airtight. Oh, I can feel it. Just got to do this wall, and then I can do a test. And fingers crossed it'll be airtight. Make sure I put the glass on the outside of this one. And since I brought enough girders, I'm going to place the glass on this side as well.
Energy critical.
And unusually, I'm actually placing the glass on the block that's going to be inside the building. The reason that's unusual is because then I'm not going to be able to decorate anything along this wall here. But that's because I needed this space out here for the desks, and because I've got these little inset pieces here that I need to attach the glass over. However, normally what I would do is put a square over that, but because I don't actually need to have air tightness between this space and this space, I can do the thing that looks nicer and put, nope, that is not the right one, and put one of, nope, there we go, finally got there, one of these in there. Normally putting this against that slope is not airtight, so I wouldn't be able to do it. Because I don't care that it's not airtight between these two spaces. It doesn't matter. I can make it look neat. There we go. Oh, I better run quickly. Quick. Ow.
No energy.
Ow. Ow. Oh, 50. The trials and tribulations of talking when you're running low on power. Here we go. What should be the last thing for airtightness. Bam, and that should be it. First step, let's go and name these two vents as exterior. Then, close the door. And hope. That's not a good sign. Nor is that. No! Oh, where have I missed? Where have I messed it up? Oh, what have I done wrong? Oh. Those ones. Okay, that's at least somewhat obvious. Okay, let's go grab what we need for them. The end is nigh, though. The end is nigh! Must get airtight. Suffocate tree. I'm so glad that the trees aren't actually sensitive to stuff like that. Okay, fingers crossed this is the last hole. No! Oh, just my HUD's rubbing it in my face with the low O2 at the moment too. Oh, the door's open, of course. Maybe I should have tried closing the door and seeing if I suffocated or it worked. That might have been a mistake. Okay, let's close the front door and see if it's airtight. Yes! Yes, look at that! Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Oh, yes. Yes. Oh, yeah. Third person. Stand with tree behind me. And open! I'm not dying! I can go and hang out with the trees. Oh, yes. Yes. This is awesome. Yeah, I think the scaffolding can come down then. I'm going to build these desks up here because that will give me a spot to recharge at. Whoopsie. I forgot my helmet. All these air vents are using a lot of power. So, time for turning you off. And turn that off, turn that off. Leave that on, and then leave the one in the... what's going to be the living quarters on. Because when I sat in this chair before, it said I only had like 20 hours of power. Which sounds a lot, but it means this place is depleting with what it's got. And it still is at the moment, so I'm going to have to really think about making sure as many of these air vents stay off as possible. At least until I mess with the roof and try and get a couple of extra turbines up there. There we go. Now we're intermittently between running out and accumulating. What about turning some of these off? How much power are you using? Ooh, a lot. Yeah, the hydroponics use a lot. If I can get away with the crop growers, that would be much, much better. You're not using much. Now we're good. Now we're accumulating charge. Alright, time to dismantle the scaffolds. Oh, one drop. That didn't drop in a bad place, thankfully. Ow! I fell down. I wasn't watching where I was going. Whoops. Not too far from getting done, though. And thankfully, I'm in an oxygen-rich and warm environment, so my health is going to regenerate up to the usual 70. Oh, wrong layer. Okay. Scaffolding catwalk removed. And almost time to watch the sunrise. This is good. What are pieces? Jeez. I had 200 pieces of catwalk up there. Do I have any? No. Do not have any construction components. I think I might just sit here and wait until that sun rises, because this is a view I have been waiting for quite some time. I can't remember how far back it was that someone first suggested building the Arboretum, but it's an idea that I really wanted to see come to fruition for... it must have been like episode... It could have even been in the teens, but I think it might have been in the 20s. So that's like, what, 5-6 months ago? Ah, so good. Feels so good. I can see that sun is so close. Ah, this is going to be beautiful. I just want to wait here until the sun hits the ground in front of me. Oh yeah, here we go. Look at that go. Ah. Stunning. That is a view to wake up to. Because this is going to be my lodgings. I'm actually going to put some beds in here. I'm going to put a bathroom in here. I'm going to put all the things that I don't have yet. Oh, this does make me so happy. Very cool. Oh, back to work. Oh, that's what I keep doing wrong. I've vented this place so many times while I was finishing off these windows and a few other bits and pieces. It's because I keep closing these doors too quickly. If you're standing in the way, they won't close. You gotta actually... I may have to try and censor... Ah! Whoops. Helmet. I may have to set that up on a sensor so that I don't end up venting the whole space every single time. Alright, what do I want to do? I want to go up another layer for this roof. And I want to get rid of this. Because it should be one of these. To match the other corners. Also thinking ladder to the roof. So I should probably build those before I go up another layer here. I've now pretty much finished the roof. I've just got to fix up some of my paintwork. But let's have a look. I've fitted another 2 turbines up here, and just to try and eke a little bit of extra power out of them, I've done the double stack of tires. The way that I got up there was something that I wanted to quickly show off, which is something I should have been using all along. If you use a ramp block, you can get 2 blocks high from a single interior plate. So if I put that down, I can actually climb much higher with similar ease to using a standard ramp or a stair, and I really should use that more often for when I'm quickly scaffolding to climb up somewhere. Also got 2 turrets on here. I have not yet armed them though. I need to fix that soon. But there was a block up here I needed to fix the paintwork of. It's this one. There we go. Oh, and probably this. Yeah. I might do some adjustments to the paint job over the coming weeks, just as I feel different things need to get changed, but I'm pretty happy with the detail up here. I like the little sunken bit that I went with. I needed to conveyor up these 2 turrets, so I decided to put a bit of a conveyor line down one side, and to give them the widest arc of fire, although I probably should have put them both facing out this way, now that I think about it. They probably should have both been down this end, and then just done the turbines at the other end. But then the turbines would have been too close, so it was a bit of a toss-up between keeping the turbines at least 4 blocks apart, or 5 blocks apart, which is better than 2. Or having the turrets optimized, and I think this will be alright. This rear turret will get into the range where it can shoot relatively quickly, just hopefully it doesn't shoot too much of my own base. Or it doesn't get blocked from firing by too much of my own base. I tried to go with the red railings like I've done on the other buildings, because I think that quite well sets off against the white. And to get to the roof of the Arboretum, I built this little bridge. I could walk up here and repair stuff if things get damaged from drone attacks and the like. Yeah, quite happy with how that's come together. Now I've got to climb back down the ladder though and start working inside, because I really want a bed and a kitchen and all that good stuff. What I thought I'd try and do in here is create a little segregated part over here where all the bedrooms are, and then have the living space and then the dining area looking out over the beautiful view. Door there. Then what do I do with the beds? I want to do something different to what I usually do. Maybe I could build like a mezzanine. Go with a bed up there. Yeah, maybe I can get away with this. That'll give me 4 beds. Then how am I going to get up there? I'll need to go with a single width stairs like that. And then I'll have to figure out how to get light in here at some point. But I suspect the smart thing to do here is to just go with a catwalk. And then against the catwalk, put my railing. Where's my half railing? That one. Yeah. So they can climb up here to get to their beds. Yeah, their beds are a little bit blind off the end here, but if I've got room, I might, at least for this one, I'll try it anyway. I'll put a railing there. I can't for this one because the vent's in the way, but, you know, compromises. So that's 4 bed spaces. Then I need, like, a bathroom area. So my usual trick with bathrooms is to go with a bathroom and then a shower with an L off it. If I go bathroom, then shower like this, that kind of works. Yeah, imagine they can... Yeah, this works. Then what can I do? Do I try and fit even more beds in here? And maybe go with... Nope, none of that. Lockers against... No, that's the bathroom. What am I doing? Can't put lockers against a bathroom. I can, however, put lockers here. I could put lockers in the middle down here as well. I know it blocks that window, so I'm not sure I want to do it. I put an armory locker here. Yeah, that's going to be the best combo. So there we go, we got a little tight bedroom area. I could put another armory locker in here too. 4 beds. What do I want? 5. Nah, go 4. Armory locker there. That's my little bedroom nook. So, living area. Maybe I'll start with a TV against the back of the bathroom there. And I might do something a little bit odd and put the kitchen in the middle of the floor. Because I can't put anything against this wall, which is where I would probably have put a kitchen if I could. Thanks to me having the outdoor table there. That indoor-outdoor table. I should put kitchen... Oh yeah, I'll put a bar on the back of it. Then I'll put 2 little tables on the ends. And then I'll do my favorite little 2-person chairs up against a table. 2-person desk, table, and chairs. That's what I was meaning. Yeah, I think this space will work pretty well. I'm going to get this welded up, because then all I need to do is some lighting in here and my barbecue area. Oh, maybe I'll lay out the barbecue area. Maybe I'll leave that for later. I'm just going to get this done. Because then I can start the next episode in my living quarters. I could start and end in my living quarters instead of my office. Ah, yeah. Let's get this done. There we go. It desperately needs a paint job, and I will get onto that at some point soon. Probably next week. I had hoped to do just a little bit more today, but in the end, I'm kind of very happy with what I have managed to get done. It's a lot more than usual, actually. I've managed to basically get the Arboretum 90% finished, and it kept feeling like that was so far away, but now I have a living area. I have beds. I can lie down in a bed. It's a rusty bed, and it shouldn't be a rusty bed, and I need to fix that. But I've also got a bathroom, and I've got a living area with a TV. Oh, maybe I could have put a vending machine in that corner bit there. What do they come up under? Vend. No. Dispenser. Yes. I'll go grab the stuff for the dispenser since I don't really want to finish today with some unbuilt blocks. Because look at the Arboretum. Look at it. It looks finished from the outside. It's just got polishing work to do. Which is the sort of stuff that I kind of just like to do gradual little bits of from time to time. I don't know why I came inside here. But yeah, I like to do little bits of the finishing, polishing stuff from time to time, just as I develop new ideas about how I want to do it and how it might look right. Given what I did for the production facility building with the varied texturing, I quite like the idea of doing some of that around here too, but I feel like I need to inhabit this space for a little bit longer to get a real feel for how that's going to work. There we go, dispenser. But I feel like I can inhabit this space now. This is just everything I wanted it to be. I can stand here. I can open my helmet. I can stare at the beautiful red trees. Ah, yes. This is what I wanted. I'm hoping over the coming weeks at some point when I magically find some time for it to come up with a blueprint of a tree made in small grid that I can project from one of those projector tables, and I'm going to put it down the bottom as a memoriam to all the trees lost in the disasters that are or have been my driving days. So yeah, that's in the plans. Next time, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I actually genuinely don't know. I've got something I could do with the panini. I should probably start thinking about how I'm going to build its landing pad, because I could also put a searchy landing pad there and maybe figure out a way to make the whole thing a bit of a parking area sort of stuff. Probably in behind the production building. So there's all that and plenty more to come. And I will see you then.